Hey, Suze.
Kia ora, Steve.
How's it going?
Yeah, really well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me here to your new studio.
You've been our lead interviewer for our Reflections business for the last 12 months or so. I don't know the
12
time.
months, yeah.
And you've done about 10 interviews.
Yeah.
And there's so much awesomeness to share. So I kind of just wanted to ask you a few questions about how it's been for you and your experiences.
Absolutely,
So
you can.
I wanted to start by asking, of the 10 that you've done, what stands out? Why? Yeah, where is the magic?
I love the fact that families have felt it important to record the stories of their parents or their partners or whoever it may be, so that's passed on down through the generations. But that the person telling their story seems to get as much out of it as they do. It's just as rewarding for them to sit down and share their story with someone who they haven't spoken to before, someone who doesn't completely know their story or know, other than what the family has filled you in on beforehand. And they're just so open and so willing to tell, the whole story, where if a family member asks them something, they would assume that they already know a little bit about it, so they wouldn't tell the whole story. It's also so rewarding for me, obviously. I love sitting down because what has also become so obvious that every person has a story to tell, whether they are, a successful business person, a former sports star, or, a salt of the earth guy who worked in the freezing works all his life. It doesn't matter at what kind of echelon in society they are. They all have a fascinating story to tell, especially about those very early years in their life. And that's, I think, also what we've found is that's what families most want to hear about. What was life like growing up?
I was having a chat with my wife. Bon lost her mum when she was a teenager. And when we were sort of talking about this Reflections idea, I was like, how valuable would it be for you to hear a 2-hour conversation with your mum about all of the things and parts of her life and chapters that you're kind of interested about? She's like, it would be the most valuable position I could have.
Yeah.
When it's too late, right? So you've got these sort of aging parents, and you think, it would be a good idea, and then as soon as it becomes too late, you're like, why didn't we get that done?
Exactly. I wish I'd done that. Yeah.
And you're seeing it firsthand, because it can be difficult with that transition of some people that are losing their way. It's still worth doing it because they're 75% there or whatever it is, but it's a delicate place, isn't it?
It is. I love the fact that some of the work that we've done with Reflections, families have then used it at the funeral of the person that we interviewed. And how amazing would that be? You're at somebody's memorial service and there they are on the screen talking about what was most important to them in their lives. That is priceless.
Incredibly powerful. Weirdly, I was at a funeral just before I came here.
Yeah.
Friend's mum passed. And one of the things that struck me is that amazing speeches, beautiful speeches, and there was probably about 10 of them, and how she didn't get to hear them. And
Yes.
so that's the other thing, right? Like, we get these speeches that you would give at a funeral, but we let the person know, we read them, we read these words to the featured family member in the recording.
Yeah.
And it's always the most powerful part of the process, I think.
Oh, I do too. Yeah. So when we get family or friends, colleagues to send in their memories of that person or what they'd like them to know, and you read that out, and invariably the person is in tears because you're exactly right. It's the kind of tributes that we don't get to hear while we're alive.
Yeah.
And then, but it's kind of like, this is what you meant to me, Dad or friend. Yeah.
It's an incredible bond you create with this person too, because it's such a depth of conversation that you're going into. And it reminds me a lot of what we do on the podcast with Between Two Beers, because we do the same sort of research and we read stuff to people and it makes them feel really good. And we bumped into a very high-profile broadcaster last week, and she spoke about how when we read to her what her sister said, she had never heard her sister speak about her that way before.
Yeah.
And she's like, it meant the world to me, because when else do you get that dynamic?
Exactly.
It's just so cool.
It is. It's so special to be able to bring that to them. Yeah.
You've done a bunch now. Are there any that stand out as particularly memorable? These are private, so don't say who they are, but are there any sort of ways you can describe the most memorable interview?
That's like asking me to choose my favourite child. I do, you're right, you do form a bond with each family that you meet, and every one of them has meant something different to me, or I've taken something different away from every one of them. I think one I did recently was a couple, husband and wife, who'd been married for over 50 years. They'd lived in the same house, small house, 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house where they brought up 3 kids. For 50 years they'd lived there. Their life was simple but beautiful. And this Reflections interview was a gift really to them from their children, who the parents had done so much for them during their childhood and growing up. They were New Zealand sports representatives, and the parents had given so much to them, either financially or just through support. And the kids wanted to give back to them through this. But the overwhelming thing that came through from it was the love that this couple had for each other and that their children had for them. And it was just beautiful. I'm often brought to tears by these, as you know. Yeah, they're very emotional. I do very well to hold it together right until the end.
Yeah.
But when you are often speaking with someone who knows that they're at the end of their life and they want to share a message and talk straight down the barrel to their families, that is gut-wrenching.
Yeah.
That is just heart-rending. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And you feel so privileged to be able to help them share that message to their family.
I did one with a guy who had terminal motor neuron disease, and he could see the finish line, and part of what we were capturing was his message to his kids.
Yes.
Like, this was the final message. And I remember thinking, this is the most important use of my skill. Like, what an incredibly privileged place to be and conversation to be part of.
Yeah.
With the couples as well, it just reminded me of that dynamic. Like, I've done a few together of, husbands and wives that have been married 50 years and they've built businesses together. And you're capturing the way that they interact as well, the way they tell stories and how they'll sort of pull the other one up and they'll have a laugh and joke. And you get friends writing in, or I'll ask them about this story, and then they're reliving it together, like capturing that on camera. And audio is pretty cool, eh?
Yeah, and the kids always going, ask mum and dad how they met.
Yeah.
And that's always great.
Get both of their stories.
Yeah. Make
sides.
sure that they measure up. Yeah.
So you're enjoying it then, Suze?
Yeah, I'm really grateful for the opportunity that you've given me. Thank you. It's become a huge part of my life.
It's the coolest work, eh?
It is.
Learning about people's lives just makes you richer for the experience. So, yeah, stoked to have you on board.
Thank you.
Perfect fit for the space.
Thanks. I love it.